So when it comes to what we call best practice for quitting smoking, and that's what we're all about as health professionals, it's a combination approach. And what we mean by a combination approach is the use of a pharmacological aid or a medication along with behavioural support. So something like Quitline, face-to-face counselling, Quit Coach or so forth. And if we're thinking about something like nicotine replacement therapy, certainly all the experts agree now that combination nicotine replacement therapy is the way to go. So the use of a patch, and I say to people the patch is a little bit like your lifeline, you use it every day, same time every day, it lasts for 24 hours, and it's what we call, it helps with those baseline cravings. And then we use one of the other products, the other nicotine replacement therapy products, something like the spray or a lozenge or even the nicotine gum, for those what we call cue-induced cravings. So it might be, I'm out for a coffee with friends, I usually always have a cigarette, and you can use one of those products, and they're faster acting and they'll help take the edge off that craving. So combination nicotine replacement therapy, if that's what we're using, together with that behavioural support, is really that best practice approach and what we want everyone to be trying.
The best chance of quitting is to use a combined approach: personalised coaching, whether in person or over telephone, plus nicotine replacement therapy products or quitting medicines. The latest Cochrane review, and the Cochrane group is a bunch of researchers out there who pull the best evidence together and really look at multiple studies and really look at it to tell us what the latest evidence is. And they say that if a person uses nicotine replacement therapy on their own, about 10 out of 100 will quit. Now, if we add that personalised coaching, that counselling, that smoking cessation counselling, that comes up to, plus the NRT, that comes up to 16 in 100 to quit. So you can see the best chance of quitting is that combined approach.
Nicotine replacement therapy takes the edge off, makes it just that little bit easier for people to get on with their day. That's a medicine that can be bought either from a pharmacy, or it can also be bought in a supermarket. And for people in Australia, it is things like the patches are available subsidised through our pharmaceutical benefits scheme. There are other two medications in Australia at the moment. Is a medicine called Champix. The other name for that is varenicline, and the other drug that's on the market is Zyban, otherwise known as bupropion. So they all work. It's really up to the person themselves and what's happening with them as far as, you know, their other health conditions, what medications they're on, as far as what might be available to support them to quit.
E-cigarettes. We get asked about e-cigarettes a lot. Unfortunately, the evidence is it's not really in yet, so it's a bit too early to say whether it helps with quitting or not. So there's not a lot of studies, and what studies they are not the best quality. So there's not much I can say about e-cigarettes except watch this space. But what we do know is e-cigarettes are a way of delivering nicotine to the body, and we do know that the nicotine replacement products, like, you know, the patches and the other forms, are effective in helping people to quit smoking, and they've been approved by the TGA and are deemed to be safe. So I guess my sort of recommendation at the moment would be, try the nicotine replacement therapy products, give it a really good go, because the evidence isn't quite in with the cigarettes yet. I think motivation is very important into making a quit attempt and having a successful quit attempt. Now, there's lots of different models of motivation, but the one I really like is to think of motivation equaling importance plus confidence plus skills. And it's working out, that's what your motivation is. You feel that this is important for me to tackle, I'm confident that I can give it a go, and I know what I need to do, and I know where to get help from. So I think that's essential. The other thing people often talk about is willpower. And I have to say that willpower, I'm not so sure, because I think it's people, when they start smoking again, it's not due to a lack of willpower. I think it's what's happened is there's been a trigger and they haven't had the skills or known how to manage that in the moment. So there wasn't a lapse of willpower, it was that they didn't have the skills to deal with that trigger. So if you can sort of think, rather than thinking about willpower, to think about having the skills and the confidence to resist those triggers to smoke and to maintain your resolve not to smoke, because that's the key, I think. Commitment's also important in the success of quitting. So the best chance of quitting is to set a quit date and sort of make a commitment that this is going to be the day, and then to commit to sticking with that, and to commit to thinking about what's making me want to smoke, why am I having these cravings, and trying out the strategies. So yeah, commitment's really important.
So there's some evidence that women can be more challenging for them to quit than men, and that's what we call pharmacokinetics. So we know that the higher estrogen levels affect the way that nicotine is broken down by the body. So we know that women tend to require higher doses of nicotine replacement therapy than men. Women that are on things like the oral contraceptive with even further estrogen require higher levels again, and women that are pregnant may again require higher levels of nicotine replacement therapy. So there certainly is differences between males and females when they're quitting, but again, with the right approach tailored to that individual, all of these therapies work. It's just a bit of trial and error to find what's actually going to work for them to give them the best chance of being smoke-free.
One thing that is really good is the Aboriginal Quitline, because we have people that are specialising in quitting smoking. A lot of people have that experience through family, friends, or firsthand, and that they've kind of been in different situations that it may not be the same as yours, but there's a lot of knowledge that they have, especially speaking to people every day, that they can pass on to you. And it's not going to say you're going to do A, B, and C. It's like, what do you want to do? What have you tried? And let's help write a script so you can go to your doctor and get some patches you've never tried them, or let's change your brand. Let's really mix things up and try something that is going to be kind of exciting for them in terms of leading to a healthier life. But it's really trying things, new programs at your local service, face-to-face counselling. You know, there's so many options, but there's a lot of evidence behind telephone counselling that really shows that if you use that in combination with nicotine replacement therapies, that it has a really good success rate of people quitting for 6 months plus.